Do you know anything about the conflict in Syria? Or have
Not
you heard
very.
anything about it?
I've heard about it, but I don't know very much about it.
Do you know anything about the conflict in Syria, or have you heard anything about it?
I've only really heard what I see on TV. I just basically know that there's a big problem going on there and a lot of civil war, conflict type things.
Do you know anything about the parties that are involved in the conflict?
Again, I have not heard very much about it.
All right. Have you heard about the refugees coming out of the country?
I have heard that there are a lot of refugees and that it is a major problem, especially in a lot of European countries.
Right. Do you know anything about the current government or their use of chemical weapons?
Other than that they are being accused of using chemical weapons, I don't know very much at all.
Okay. And can you tell me anything about ISIS or anything that you know about them?
I know that ISIS is at least claiming responsibility for a lot of terrorist acts recently, but other than that, I know very little. I know they're associating themselves with Islam, but other than that, not very much at all.
Great, thank you. Right.
Yeah.
Do you know any of the parties involved in the conflict?
Not specifically.
Have you heard anything about the refugees in the country?
I've heard that there's a lot of people trying to flee Syria. A lot are going to Europe. A lot want to come to America. There's been a lot of debate on whether or not we should let these people into our country, where they should go, how we should help them. But yeah.
Do you know anything about the current government in Syria?
Not really. I guess from what I could piece together, it's something that the people don't really want, and they need a different form of government there.
The government's actually been using chemical weapons on the civilian
Oh,
population.
wow, really?
So. And what do you know about ISIS?
Basically just that they're this group that's come into some pretty big power lately. They're really oppressive. They're killing people pretty brutally and trying to kind of take over the Middle East, it seems like.
Great, thank you.
So what do you think the U.S. should do in the future?
It's a sticky situation right now. So it's like if the U.S. attacks Syria, it's nothing less than like ISIS attacking, like the Syrian government attacking ISIS. It's like you're attacking ISIS, but you're forgetting the fact that there are people living there of Syria, like people in Syria living there, and it's their home and stuff. So if we're attacking ISIS, we're still attacking people in Syria. So I think like getting the people from Syria to safety is like the main concern, because we're forgetting the fact that they're human beings who have no fault in this. Like they have no fault. They just want to like live in a nice country, and they're like in a peaceful country where their children are not being killed for protests and stuff like that. So I just think that the people should like cooperate with all the Syrians and the refugees and just take them to safety. And like of course like seeing kids younger than us dying of starvation and like being bombed, and that's like something we don't even think about that much, but it's like such a huge deal, because like not getting food and stuff like that is like a real huge problem. And I think that we should be like thinking about those kids and everyone else. So getting each and every refugee to safety is really important, because that's...
But what about like solving the problem there?
What?
What about like solving the problem, like solving the problem, like stopping civil war? How do you think we can do that?
I think like we should like, because if the government like Assad is wanting to like get rid of ISIS, then we all should like, if Russia is backing up Assad, UK is backing up the Syrian refugees, and the United States is like against ISIS too, then they should all together think of something like a solution to like get rid of ISIS, and like in a way that no life of the refugees is harmed, or any of the forces, say Army Forces of America, United Kingdoms, or the Russians. Like you're just losing lives in this. So it's like you have to think of, I don't know like a good solution to it, but I just think they should all act together to defeat ISIS.
The U.S. can't do it alone.
Which, like, yeah, I think if they could, they'd still lose a lot of lives. It's like, if you have like a lot of people backing you up, and in this case, like 5 of the most powerful countries, like UK, Russia, and United States, if they like come together and like try to attack ISIS, I think then it'd be really good. It'd be a positive impact.
Cool. So you want people to send troops in? It's specifically the U.S., right?
I don't want, like, if aren't they already sending out troops?
No,
They're not sending out troops.
not for a ground operation. No.
I'm not sure because like the thing is, it's not the United States issue, but we have to make it a sick issue because it's like a world issue now. So I don't think if the United States is sending out troops, I think everyone else should too. Who's involved in this? Like, I think everyone should send ground troops and stuff.
Do you know anything about what's happening in Syria right now?
Yeah, I think there's a lot about it in the news. There's a lot of information, so it's kind of hard to navigate it sometimes. You hear a lot about chemical weapons and the refugee crisis.
What do you know about ISIS in Syria right now?
It's just bad over there. They're killing a lot of people. There's also a lot of just like humanitarian right issues. The issue is just very confusing because for someone who doesn't tune in and hear all the information, you kind of only hear one side of it, and it's also hard to process all they're throwing at you and kind of put together and see the full issue.
Like, what do you think like a solution would be?
I hear a lot about the humanitarian crisis, so I think the U.S. should kind of help with that. I know there's an issue with access to food and water in Syria right now, and it's being blocked. So if there's any way the U.S. could help the people there, just like the innocent civilians, then that would be.
Do you think it's like makes it really confusing, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's like really hard to find a solution?
Yeah, I think that there's so many facets to it and different sides. We just don't know where to go.
Like, do you think most people know anything that's going on over there?
I don't think so. I think if you ask an average person, they're not going to know that much about it.
Yeah. What do you think the U.S. could do? Like, any ideas?
I know what they're doing now isn't really working. That they've been sending airstrikes, but it sounds like it's just been killing more people. So I don't know what the next step would be, but
You don't think that's Russia killing civilians? Do you know which ones?
I don't know.
Did you even know Russia was launching airstrikes in Syria?
I knew that they were involved. I don't know exactly. Like, these are just like a few things I've heard. Again, like, I'm not that well informed on the issue.
You know anything about Assad?
I know that he's bad.
Okay, that's good.
He's the leader of Syria right now, and there's like a lot of rebellion against him.
Do you know anything about ISIS?
They're also bad. They're killing people.
Do you know which people?
I would think the Syrians.
Well, it's a pretty broad statement. There's a lot of groups there.
Yeah, I don't know who exactly, but
Yeah. Like one idea is to send U.S. troops into Syria. Do you think that would solve anything or make it worse?
I don't know. You could see it either way. I mean, depends how they would act in Syria. If they would just be killing people, or if they'd actually be helping.
Like killing the right people.
Yeah,
you know
if
what
they're
I mean?
killing the right people, or
I think that's hard to
they're
do
just
because
killing
there's
in
just so
general.
much confusion over there.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's sometimes hard to find the line between good and bad, and different people have different views on good and bad.
Would you want the U.S. to go on alone?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm not really sure of Russia's role. I don't know how that would impact it as well.
What about, you think, a lot of people say that nations over in the Middle East, like Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Jordan, and Egypt, nations like that, it's like their responsibility. What do you think about that?
So if they're allies with Syria, basically?
No, that
Or
it's their responsibility to solve the conflict.
I mean, I don't know if it's their full responsibility, but maybe they should assist in it somehow.
Yeah, so you think it's our responsibility too?
Again, I don't know about responsibility, but just like to give some assistance.